Pakistan and the IMF, a relationship that has been more like a roller coaster ride than a financial partnership. In April 2025, Pakistan is once again back in the headlines after securing yet another loan deal with the International Monetary Fund. But the question is this a relief for our struggling economy or a trap that deepens our dependence? This isn't Pakistan's first rodeo with the IMF. In fact, since 1958, Pakistan has entered into 24 IMF programs, one of the highest in the world. In July 2023, Pakistan secured a short-term $3 billion standby agreement to prevent default, which expired in March 2024. But with the expiration of that bailout, Pakistan had no choice but to negotiate a longer-term extended fund facility in early 2025. And now, as of April 2025, a 7.5 billion deal has been approved, spread over 3 years with strict structural benchmarks. So, what's in the new deal and why is the government celebrating it? The IMF has agreed to disburse the first tranche of $1.2 billion immediately. The remaining amount will be released in installments based on performance reviews every quarter. The government has committed to increasing tax to GDP ratio from 9.2% to 12% by 2027. It also promises to reform state-owned enterprises and improve energy sector governance. Finance Minister Aurangzeb Khan claimed this deal is a turning point, saying it will stabilize the rupee, rebuild foreign reserves, and restore international investor confidence. But relief doesn't come without pain. The IMF has set tough conditions, and ordinary Pakistanis are already feeling the heat. Petrol prices crossed Rs 325 per litre in March 2025, up from Rs 280 in Jan 2024. Electricity base tariff was hiked by Rs 5.50 per unit and gas prices went up by 30%. Inflation remains in double digits with core inflation at 17.8% in March 2025. The government removed subsidies on wheat and power, citing IMF obligations. Meanwhile, public anger is rising. In cities like Lahore, Karachi, and Quetta, protesters have taken to the streets accusing the government of selling sovereignty to foreign lenders. Call it a trap. Why? Pakistan's external debt now stands at $131 billion with over $21 billion due for repayment in fiscal year 2025-26. IMF programs have helped in short term but failed to trigger sustainable structural reform. Economist Dr. Kaisar Bengali calls this cycle a financial addiction where the IMF provides just enough to pay back old loans, not to fix core issues. And let's not forget, over 50% of our federal revenue now goes into debt servicing. That means less spending on education, health, and development. Pakistan needs to expand its tax base, especially taxing the untaxed elite sectors. Invest in exports beyond textiles, particularly IT and agriculture. Cut losses in state-owned enterprises like PIA, Pakistan Railways and DISCOs. Focus on energy reforms, not just price hikes. IMF's new deal may have prevented default, but it hasn't secured our future. That will depend on whether Pakistan breaks the cycle or stays trapped in it deal after deal. Subscribe for more in depth analysis on Pakistan's economy, politics, and future.